Well, guys, welcome. Wow, it's 11:08. I apologize. So anyway, I want to acknowledge everyone for sticking with it. When we have 62 friends or agents, whatever have you, people that are just tuning in. So I want to thank you first for being on our call. And we just want to know how you did it, man. We just want to know how you did it. I mean, this guy in 2008 made a fortune while everybody else was crashing down. And, you know, I had heard of Win before, like all this time before I even met him for like 7 years. I'm like, who is this guy? I've never even seen him in the flesh. And I finally got to meet him in 2015. We got in very close. And so now he's our go-to mortgage broker. You know, him and his team do 400 transactions a year consistently. And he's been #1 in BC, I don't know how many years. And, you know, all over Canada, you're top 10, right? Yeah. And he works 2 hours a day right now. I don't know how you do it. I just don't know how you do it. So, you know, share with us, let's just say, you know what, 2008.
Yeah.
How was it like for you, and how did you get out of that mess and become the legend that you are today?
Good question. During that time, I guess what happened was I was working my butt off, like literally working 16, 17, 18 hours a day. And I was just every day planning, every day attacking my database. All I was thinking was planting seeds, right? Because a lot of the other brokers during these downtimes were either taking long vacations or some of them just didn't survive and they went to look for full-time job, part-time jobs. And I stuck in there, right? I stayed in there during the difficult times and just kept working and soliciting everything and anything, anywhere. I went to every function, I went to every social event, any gatherings, their presentations, everything you could possibly think of, right? While everyone else was either slacking off or on vacation or whatnot, right?
Right.
But I firmly believe in activities drive results. And if you're not going to do anything, you're not going to get anything. So I was really strong believer of that back then, and I still am. Of course, my activities now are not really driven by myself. It's more driving my team to do it. So the focus is a little bit different.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, back then, what I'm hearing is there is no way around hard work, is there?
No, you got to put in your time. Like you're not going to, I mean, if you don't put in your time and you end up being a millionaire or whatnot, I mean, everyone's going to do what you do, right? It's impossible. You got to put in your time.
Yeah, you got to put in your time. So guys, I mean, it's okay to work hard. It's okay to work hard. He's chilling today.
You have to remember,
you know,
people meet, like even when you met me, I think 6 years ago or whatnot, you know, I was still hustling, but not the way I hustled, you know, 10, 12 years ago. And then you look at me today, you can't, but a lot of people that met me, let's say the last few years, will only see what I've done in the last few years. They won't realize what I went through, you know, 12, 13, 14 years ago, where I literally worked 7 days a week, 16, 17 hours a day, like constantly, and I didn't stop, right? So yes, you have to put in your time.
You have to put in your time. Now, with that being said, it was like 2-3 years of 16, 17 hours a day, and then you started to leverage, right?
Yes. So, I mean, I guess I remember in 2000, let's say for example, in 2007, I did 165 deals. 2008, I did 290 something deals. And then 2009, I did over 400 deals. And everything that happened in 2009 onwards, I feel, is because of all the hard work I put in during 2008 when everyone just shut down, right? Deals just kept coming in from everywhere, left, right, and center in 2009, 2010. It's just because I was planting seeds all year long during 2008 and the first half of 2009.
Wow. Okay. So basically it's just hard work. You went to every function, you talked to everybody and anybody. It's activities and actions all the way through.
Yes.
All the way through.
I mean, you think about it, right? I mean, no one wants to go to these events. No one really wants to go to these functions. It's a pain in the butt. And a lot of times, you know, you go to it and you end up, you know, hanging around with people that you know, you don't talk to strangers or whatnot, and you end up with nothing. right? So usually when I go to these events, I usually give myself a target, right? I say to myself, yeah, I'll go there. I might know 20, 30 people out of the 300, but I'll give myself a target. I need to get, back then it was business cards. I would have to get 10, 15, 20 business cards. I have to meet 10, 15 new people. Then I go back and hang out with my friends type of thing. You know what I mean? But if you go into these functions and events with, 200, 300 people, not knowing these people, you don't give yourself a target when you go in there. You're just going to go in there, hang out with your friends, have some drinks and go home. And at the end of it, you go to 2, 3, 4 functions, you're going to be, well, why am I wasting my time other than them being a charity function, this for good cause, but why am I wasting my time with these things? Because I'm not getting anything out of it. Well, the truth is you didn't do anything when you're there. So how can you expect anything?
Right. Now, all those business cards you took, you followed up with them, obviously, right? And just created relationships.
Every business card I get, I would always email them or I'd call them and ask them for a coffee meeting or lunch meeting or not. Yes. Of course, out of the 10, 15, 20, you might get one or two only, right? But hey, if you didn't do it, you wouldn't get anything. It's no difference than you doing your prospecting call, right? You don't do those 50 calls, 100 calls, you get 0.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing right now is there is no magic to the Win Lui magic pill. It was just hard work. 16, 17 hours a day, 2 to 3 years, guys. I'm almost tearing up. Like, that's just like so much hard work. Okay. Now, what can you tell us about, what are the top 3 things that you would say that you did during 2008 that had you become, had you go from 160, 290 to 400 deals?
Again, it was planting seeds everywhere, right? That's basically what I did. I stayed in touch with referral sources, with new clients, old clients. I just did everything I normally did before that. Again, going back to what I said earlier, while everyone was either slacking off or, taking long applications. I mean, the times today is very different than it was in 2008. At least in 2008, what happened during the financial crisis was I could still work, I could still hustle, I can still go out there and see people and do what I got to do.
Right.
Today, well, you can't even go out and shake someone's hand, right? So you can't really compare today versus what happened back then, right? Because everything is out of your control today. Back then, when that happened, things were still in your control. You can still do things what you do every single day. But today, things are just so different, right?
Yeah. I want to touch on that a little bit in a little bit. Now, I want to hear from you during 2008, while everybody was shrinking, taking a break, or just out of the business. How did you become so strong mentally to keep going? Because some people just quit.
I mean, I guess a couple of things happened. I mean, I've always been like that, even when I was young, right? I just can't fail. I have to win. I mean, well, my name is Win. so I mean, that kind of helped a little bit, I guess, right? I can't lose. But in 2008, I guess I had my first kid as well, which which really, really, changed the things, the way I look at things and whatnot. But you just have to do what you have to do, right? It's one of those things where it's all mindset. It's all in your mind. If you tell yourself you're gonna fail, you're gonna fail. If you tell yourself you can't do it, you can't do it. But if you can tell yourself that you strongly believe you can do it, you will achieve it. You just gotta put in your time.
Yeah. That mindset is so unstoppable. Yesterday I had a conversation with Win, and this is what he told me. I had no fear if my business falls apart. I lose everything. My team falls apart. I lose all my cars, my house, all my money. I know I can make it back. That's how strong and confident he is up here. So then basically, if you come back to today, it's like this mindset of, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do today? And I think that's how Win lives his life every single day. He's just like, yeah, well, pandemic, it's okay. I'm going to make my money back. It's going to come back. That's how confident he is, right? So how? I'm just going to ask how. Besides just being you, how?
I don't know. That's the thing you can just teach someone. I just always been like that. I mean, like, I mean, take for example, in 2008, had my first kid. Business obviously was going down, volume was going down, but I still went out and bought a 911, for example.
Mm.
Use that, right? Because I knew, so I want this car, and this is the perfect right used one available, and why not take advantage of it if I can actually do it? Because I know I'm going to make the money back. Yes, I'm doing less deals. Yes, I'm doing less volume, making less money. But what am I afraid of? Worst thing that happens is I have to sell it. But hey, at least I had one before. You know, I mean, it's not different than right now. I mean, we were talking. I'm looking at a different car right now, right? And this is even a worse pandemic than we are in back then, because nothing is moving, like nothing. Like you can't even force someone to buy a property right now or sell a property, because people don't even want you in their houses, right? You can't do open houses. Sellers don't want you to have buyers in there. Buyers don't want to go in sellers' houses. Like, but yet my mindset is still the same thing. Like nothing has changed from last year, the year before, this year. You know what I mean?
So just whatever is happening around you, your mindset, your economy, your whole world doesn't change.
No.
Like you're just so strong, so shielded from what's happening out
strong. I don't think I'm not strong, but I won't let it affect me, because I know that once this is over, and it's going to be over, I'll make more than ever, right? Because I am, like, I've never in my life, well, not in my life, but in the last 10, 12, 13 years, have felt so relaxed and no pressure as I do right now. Like these 5-6 weeks of self-isolation, like I feel so good. And honestly, I feel so reset, where once this stops, like I am going to go full out.
Wow.
Which it actually might be a good thing, is what's happening right now. Well, for me at least, because I've never had this time back to myself or my family. Or, I mean, look at you, like what Crystal said yesterday. Like, when have you took walks in the afternoon with Zoe, or even with her? Never.
We played with bubbles yesterday, and that never happens.
No, that would never happen. You know what I mean? Like, so there's things I do now, like I take walks after dinner or whatever it is. Like I will bounce. Well, everyone else should bounce back stronger than ever right now, knowing what's happening. You shouldn't fear that it won't happen. You should be thinking, I can't wait for this to be over, because I'm going to come back, and I'm going to come back even stronger and better.
So that's the mindset that when this all comes back, I'm going to be stronger than ever, no matter what, right?
You should. I mean, you should be with the mindset, oh my God, this pandemic is going to kill me. Like, what am I going to do? But if you're thinking like that, well, it's not going to help you.
Yeah.
Positive. Don't go negative, right?
Right. And that's what's so crazy about you, is you're never negative. You're never negative. Right. So yesterday, I want to touch on that point just a little bit, because I've been doubling up on my hours of prospecting, doubling up on my workouts, doubling up on my reading, doubling up on, all the health stuff, meditating twice. And I'm working. And, seemingly like my mindset has hit a wall. And, that's just going to happen, because sometimes things just don't happen, and you're trying to make it happen. You're trying too hard. So you gave me some advice yesterday. You know what? Just relax. Just relax.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, like I said yesterday, right? Like, you're working just as hard, or maybe even harder right now. And not just you, and I see this on other people's, Instagram stories and stuff like that, mortgage brokers and realtors and whatnot. And I feel it, a lot of them, it looks so forced. It doesn't come across natural. It's like you're forcing yourself to do things just for the fact of doing things.
Right.
When everything in today's day right now is out of your control, it's happening. So like I said to you yesterday, why don't you just take one day off? And you said, I can't, because I'm scared. But what are you scared? And I said to you, take a Thursday off, or take one Wednesday off. Is your business going to change? Right? It won't. Just because you take one Thursday off during this pandemic right now, take one Thursday or one Friday off per week, one day per week, instead of being on all these calls and coaching every single day, your business is not going to drop, right? But what happens is, how much happier your kid will be, how much happier your wife will be, and how your mindset can reset and relax. All you're doing is go, 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 in a time where you don't need to go, go, go. You should be waiting for that time to go once this thing is done. Because I'm worried people like someone like yourself, where you guys are so go at the same time right now, that when the market bounces back, you're gonna be burnt out. If this thing takes, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months, you're gonna lose the passion for your job, because that time isn't coming, but you're still pushing yourself, forcing yourself to do things that you don't necessarily need to do. And that's I could be wrong. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's great advice, actually. Well, I have hit a wall. I mean, I'll just be honest in front of everybody here that, you know, I was trying too hard. I was doubling up on everything. I mean, I did 3,000 push-ups in 3 days. That's 1,000 a day, 3 times in past 2 weeks, guys. And I screwed up my shoulder. I literally screwed up my shoulder. And you know what? And there's nothing wrong and everything's perfect, but I got to experience myself physically and mentally being exhausted, because I'm trying so hard to make things work, right? And so yesterday, when I don't know if you guys listen to my stories, yesterday I talked about, you know, you can take a lot of actions, but sometimes you need to pull back and allow the attraction to take place. But if you just keep go, you're gonna hit a wall physically. It's physically not possible. I'm not a machine underneath this. I'm actually a human being, so you can get burnt out.
You look like a machine on Instagram, though.
I'm still dressed up. I'm still dressed up. I'm still gonna prospect, but yet, guys, it's okay to take a break, and for the mind as well. You know, even if you take a week off, you know, to refresh yourself, you're gonna come back even stronger. So I'm taking that to heart, and thank you for that. So what would you say to the crowd here and everybody who's listening, either real estate or not? What would be the 3 biggest things that you would do today to get through this?
Well, I mean, going back to what I said, I think a lot of people should just, you know, take this time to relax and reset.
To relax for the set. Okay.
For me, I know that in my next 10, 15 years of my life, I'll never be able to get 5 weeks off like this. I don't think anybody will. I don't think anybody's ever have. And I think by resetting, I mean, the world's telling us something in a way, right? Where this is happening. So why are you pushing yourself to work so hard? Yes, I get it. You got to work. I get people are stressing because the income may not come or whatnot. But by doing this, is it really going to come? You know, you got to relax your body and just relax, like I tell you, right? And you'll come back even stronger, right? Because you're burning yourself out. You know, let's say this thing does take 3, 4 months and you're doing what you're doing every single day. By the 5th, 6th month, when the market comes back, you're going to be so burnt out, where the guys that were relaxing is going to be way ahead of you because they have the energy to do it now, right? You know, don't force yourself. Don't force yourself to be busy. Just pushing yourself just to doing it. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be another thing. Just relax. Give some time back to yourself and your family and whatnot, right? You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
I know it doesn't have anything to do with pushing for business, which is kind of weird, but that stuff will come. Everything's out of your control right now to get business, especially, I'm assuming most of you guys are realtors, right? And even myself as a mortgage broker, you know, if it wasn't for pre-sale closing right now where people refinancing, there's barely any resale transactions right now. So if you're a resale realtor, especially, you know, like yourself, let's say, or listing agents and stuff like that, I mean, you're doing things that are pushing yourself, not necessarily needing to push yourself, right? Like yourself doing 3,000 push-ups. Why? Right? Is it going to get you a business? No. Is it making you healthier? No. If you hurt your shoulder, you know, why are you doing things like that to yourself? Why not just do 1,000, I guess?
I can do 1,000. I don't need to do 3,000.
Whatever it is. Like, why not just do 20? Damn it. Jeez. You know?
Guys, I want you guys to see whoever, you know, you guys are laughing or whatever. This is what hanging around people who do more than you can do for you, because they see the blind spots that you don't see, right? And then you can choose to listen to it or not. but the thing is, like, I get it. I totally get it, because I'm feeling it in my body. And you know, now that, you know, I could choose to say, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to take a day off based on what he's saying, or I could choose not to listen. So I'm going to choose to listen. I'm going to take an extra day off and just say, you know what? The things are going to come, and they are going to come. They are going to come, right? If we all think like that, the more you think about it, the more it'll come, right? But don't force yourself. You can learn from me, right? All over social media, I'm doing double of everything. You cannot physically do double of everything. And I don't know if you guys were on, we were built for this podcast on Saturday. Casey Jiha, she said, we cannot outwork this thing, guys. And it blew my mind that day. Because before the pandemic, I was already working 50, 60 hours a week. How can I work 100 to 120 hours a week? You cannot physically do that. I want to do it. And it's very apparent that my body just cannot take it. Right? So a lot of realization in this. So Win, thank you. And keep kicking my ass. And that's what he'll do for you. And I can kick your guys' ass, whoever wants to get their asses kicked. This is on Facebook, sorry. I want to open it up. Whoever has any questions right now, please go ahead and ask. Win. Let's open it up. Who's got a question?
My name is Jack.
Hi.
How are you? Hey, I have a question. So, what was the routine that you had before, daily routine, and daily routine now?
You mean before, as in before this pandemic, or before as in like in 2008?
2008.
Okay, because it's very different. I mean, back then, my days, I wake up at like 8 a.m. and I wouldn't be sleeping until like 4 a.m. It was intense. It was. I had two assistants back then, where one started at 9, that's off at 6, and one started at 7 p.m. and got off at 2 a.m. It was crazy times, and I mean, my days were in the daytime. I'd be out doing my thing, seeing clients, meeting realtors, meeting referral sources, and getting documents signed. Because back then everything was, I don't remember, it was all faxes, right? So we would have to, go get a lot of things signed day to day. But back then I didn't have time like what everyone else has today, where how workouts and all these things are such a big thing now, where health is such a big thing. Yeah, back then it was just work. It was crazy. Everything was work. Every minute I had, which if I wasn't physically doing a file, I'd be thinking of how to prospect. I'd be thinking, who's my next realtor that's my next target? How am I going to get them out to lunch? How am I going to get them out to coffee or whatnot? Everything was work back then.
Got it.
So 16 hours a week, Jack. That's basically the daily routine is 8 a.m. wake up and then work until 4 a.m. For 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row. Okay. Hope that helps, Jack. Simone?
I have a question for Win. Win, when you look back to that time that you just described, was it worth it? Would you do it again?
Yes, I would, if everything failed on me right now. So in other words, like what John said, if I lost absolute everything right now, I would have to do it. Can I do it again? I don't know, because there's days where, I talk to people and they ask me what I did and how I did, and here I am saying it, but at the same time thinking about it, how the hell did I do that? And it was all adrenaline. Like when I actually sit down and think about it, it's all adrenaline. It was all paycheck to paycheck, seeing the paychecks and the paychecks get bigger and bigger. And I was like, it was just all a rush, right? And that kept me going. But yes, I would do it again if I had to. But do I want to? No, I don't. It was rough.
Simone, does that help? Yeah, the mindset.
There. You gotta do what you gotta do. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So if everything fell apart on me right now, I lost everything, I would do it, because I see what I have today and what I've gained and my lifestyle or whatnot from doing that. I mean, I can't say everyone doing that will succeed, but if you don't do it, how do you know you won't succeed?
Yes, I would do it again.
Just got to do it. Okay. Who else got a question?
I have a question. Kathy, I have a question. Yes, Win, I want to know, during your career, how many times did you want to give up? Like you're like, I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. Like how many times in your mind that you're like, I'm going to quit and you keep doing it?
All the time.
Really? Okay.
I remember when I first started going commission was 2006. And I remember after 3-4 months, I just wanted to quit. And at that time, my sales manager sat me down and this goes for like, I don't know how many of you are new as a realtor or a mortgage broker. And he told me that, you know, you have to give yourself 2 years. You can't just quit because you haven't even gave yourself a chance. So yeah, so I instantly I wanted to quit. It was hard because it's going commission where you have no guaranteed income. It's difficult. So even after the first 3-4 months, I wanted to quit, but I didn't, and thank God I didn't. And today, that sales manager is actually my business partner, where we own a mortgage firm. So thank God I did it. But yes, to answer your question, I think every year I want to quit. The funny thing is, every year in December, I want to quit because I knew my numbers would reset in January, and I start at 0 again, and I'm not on top of everybody now. I'm equal to everybody, so it scares the shit out of me. Oops, sorry. So it scared me. Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you.
Yeah, and Kathy, and that's exactly the feeling that I felt every January 1st. You know, I had done, you know, 2016, we did 149 deals. January 2017, right? And it was like, can I do it again? And I would ask Win, man, can I do it again? Man, can I do it again? I want to quit. And he's like, yeah, of course you could do it. Of course you could do it, right? And that's why we're with EXP, because if you build up some other equity and revenue share, you will not end up at 0, right? That's why we're here. Okay.
Yeah, it's good to know. It doesn't matter where you're at. You always want to quit. And okay, just keep going. That's the key.
Keep going.
Yeah, just keep going. Okay.
Lily.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah.
Hey, Win.
Hi.
I'm Lily checking in from Orlando. I have a question. We do have a lot of realtors, brokers on the call. What are some of like the greatest partnerships that you've had, like with a realtor? Like, what does that look like? How can we as realtors like look to partner with our preferred mortgage lenders to kind of really, especially in a time like now, maximize our business and grow?
I guess question is kind of what I'm doing right now with them to keep going, right? So I still keep in touch with all my realtors right now, but no, I don't. I mean, even not right now. Even going back a couple months ago, last year, 2 years, 3 years ago, a lot of times with me, like I don't necessarily talk to them about deals all the time. For me, like what I learned over the years was I don't want to be a transactional mortgage broker to these realtors. It's really relationship based. So it's really, you know, you get to know them, you can become friends and you hang out. And once you build that bond and that friendship, it's really hard for them to actually leave you or vice versa. So even right now, I think right now is the best time for you guys to keep in touch with all of them, whoever you're dealing with, and they should be doing. So I guess you'd be doing the other way. You'd be dealing with your clients, right? And your referral sources that you're getting it. So you still got to keep in touch with them, and don't always talk about business. Like that is one thing you can probably ask John. I rarely ever talk to him about business. I rarely ever talk to him about deals. I rarely ever say, you know, like when you're new, you need to ask, I guess, right? But after you've done it for a while, like they know what you do already. And now it's all about building that relationship. The stronger the relationship is, the chances of them leaving you, your referral sources, it ain't gonna happen.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you, Lily. Okay, one last question here from Facebook. If this pandemic happened in 2008, while Win was in hustle mode, how would he handle it?
Oh, shit.
It's a good question.
I don't know what to say. I know I won't be doing 3,000 push-ups. I'd probably go back to what I said. I would take this time to really give it back to myself and for the previous years of hustling and just relaxing a little bit and just reset my body, reset my mind, and maybe do things that you couldn't have done in the past because you're so busy. For example, like database. Database is something that's so important, but I guarantee you more than half of you here don't have an updated database. It's something where I was so busy I couldn't do, right? Until I had my assistants do it and whatnot. And you wouldn't believe how much stuff you could send out through a database just by an email compared to day-to-day phone call. So I would give time back to myself and just do the things that you couldn't have done for your business while you were hustling and being busy, like your database. Because right now, like I said before, what I was doing is going out to functions, going out to events and all that stuff. You can't do that now, right? So, and you know what the sad thing is? We didn't have Zoom back then. We didn't have FaceTime. We didn't have any of this stuff, right? So what you're doing right now is great, but do you have to do it every day? That's the question. I wouldn't do it every day. Let's do this, you know?
Got it. Do you guys get the theme today? Relax. Just relax. It's going to come back. You know what? You're going to come back stronger than ever. And that's a very, you know, it's a different methodology than what I preach. And I get it too. I mean, I can go, but you still got to rest. And this is the time where we could, you know, really sit down and look at the database. And the other point that I got is like really take care of your database during this time. You know, the relationships will matter after this. Well, during this actually, right? Yes. So
you care, right?
Yeah. And Win cares about me. Win cares about me. That's why he kicks my ass almost every single day. Well, Win, thank you for being on today. How can people locally reach you, send your referrals for mortgages, and how do other people all over North America on this call reach you if they have any further questions or, you know, need some advice or whatever?
You could text me. You can add me on Facebook, add me on Instagram. Message me or whatnot, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you guys.
Sounds good. Win Lui, at Win Lui, or at Win Lui Group, right?
Do that. Win Lui would be better.
At Win Lui. Okay. Gotcha. Well, thank you for being here today. I really acknowledge you for being a great friend, a great mentor, and just being a legend in the city. Thank you, and thank you everyone for being here today, participating. We'll see you all soon. I love you all. Thank you again.
Great. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Win.